Alrighty, I'm just going to be going through how the Windows Registry works and what it is because I have nothing better to do. So, basically, just to dumb it down at first so you can kind of understand, if you're completely new to this, I'll break it down like this. This right here, your computer is a tree, right? And these are the branches. And these are the smaller branches. And this is an even smaller branch. And this is a leaf. Okay, that's how I'll explain it at first. And then now I'm going to dive deeper into it because that doesn't explain anything, right? So, the Windows Registry is a central database that stores configuration settings and options for the Windows operating system. That is just what it is. It also stores it for applications, hardware, and user preferences. And it's actually super important for how Windows and installed programs behave. And it's basically, like I just said, a tree. But, better yet, you could just call this thing a filing cabinet. The Windows Registry is a hierarchical database that holds all the settings and configurations needed for Windows to function. Fun fact, it replaced older methods like scattered .ini files by centralizing everything into one place. That's the registry. It stores system settings, user preferences, application data. So for system settings, that's information about hardware, information about drivers, and information about the operating system itself. User preferences, that's choices like your desktop wallpaper or your user profile settings. Application data is details about installed programs. So file associations or which program opens .txt files or your music files or your JPEG files when you're looking at family photos, right? Whenever you change a setting or install software, the registry updates. And when it updates, Windows now knows what to do when it refers to it. So, hey, that's that. How it's structured is back to the tree thing. It's got a hierarchy of keys, subkeys, and values. And it's kind of similar to folders and files in a file system. So it's got keys. These are like folders that can hold other keys. And then you got subkeys, which are nested keys inside a parent key. So it's like a folder inside a folder. Then you've got the values, and that's the actual data stored in keys. And that's text, numbers, binary code, and that is what defines specific settings. You've got 5 main root keys. You've got HKey class as root, which manages the file associations, so it opens a JPEG, and also contains COM object data. You've got current user, which contains settings for the currently logged in user, which is like the desktop preferences. You've got HKey local machine, and that stores system-wide settings such as hardware configurations and software details. You've got HKey users, which holds all settings for all user profiles on the computer. You've also got HKey current config, which stores current hardware configuration info, like the display settings. So when you go in your settings on your computer and start tweaking around, like imagine you change your refresh rate on your monitor. that's where it's stored. In HKey config, that is where that refresh rate is stored. So if you go in here and start tweaking around, you can change your refresh rate that way. Alright, how does it work? This is pretty simple. It's constantly in use by Windows and its applications. And when it's in use, it's reading, writing, and it's also in use during system operation. So when it's reading, it is Windows or a program that needs to know a setting, for example, your default browser, checks the relevant key and the value in the registry. Writing, when you make a change, example, like setting a new wallpaper, the registry updates with the new information. And then system operation, during startup, Windows reads the registry to load drivers, services, and your settings. And it always keeps referencing it to manage everything from hardware to user preferences. Here's some examples of what happens when you change wallpaper. When you change wallpaper, a value in HKey current user /control panel /desktop changes. Installing a program adds keys under HKey local machine /software to store its configuration. There are 4 different types of data in the registry. Let's just go somewhere. We shall find all of them in one of these. Yeah. That'll work. So you've got a string, which is reg _sz, and that is text like a file path or name. So an example of a file path would be c wallpaper.jpg. You've also got reg _dword, which is a number often used for on and off settings. So, for example, 1 to enable a feature, 0 to disable a feature. Binary, or reg _binary, which I don't have here. And I know there it is. Here you go. Here's some binary. That's raw data, and that is used for complex settings. Multi-string, or reg _multi _sz, is a list of text strings like multiple file paths. And these 4 different types ensure the registry can handle all kinds of settings accurately. How you access this is also extremely simple, but I would not recommend you go mess with it. What you do, you hit Windows key R, and then you type in REGEDIT, no spaces, nothing. Hit enter. It'll pop up. I already have it open. It won't pop up again. But that's how you get to it. It's possible to edit here, but risky. So I don't recommend it. It's vital because it controls everything in Windows. Nearly everything. It allows customization and troubleshooting. But mistakes can crash your system, and malware, if you download malware, which I don't recommend, can corrupt it. So, unless you're very advanced with a specific need, for example, like fixing a file association, it is best to leave it alone and let Windows, damn, that was dyslexia at its finest. I stuttered on myself. Anyways, let Windows manage it, please. And yeah, that's literally it. So basically, all it is, it's a powerful database. And that is what keeps Windows and its applications running smoothly. And it does that by storing and organizing their settings. And that's the basic rundown of the Windows Registry. I don't know who's going to find this useful, but I hope you enjoyed watching it.